My name's Rob from Nonsense. I'm the creative director there and one of the original founders of the company. The agency as a whole is 30 people at the moment. I'm responsible for running the creative department. That's a team of 6 of us in total, and yeah, so I run that amongst other board level stuff as well, so I'm also responsible for talking on things like this and putting the agency's name out there a bit. Okay, so when we're looking for new people, one of the most important things for me personally is just cultural fit with Nonsense, which is really, really hard to get from any kind of CV, and I think it helps having a good relationship with our recruiters because we can kind of get a bit of that understanding before it even happens. Obviously I care about their experience and all of their qualifications, but you tend to be able to weed that out very, very, very quickly before you've even met them. And because we're a small team and it's a fast-paced working environment, it's really, really important that they are up for that, and not everybody is, frankly, so I always look for that. Yeah, we have to do a lot of work to ensure people fit with the culture of Nonsense. We're relatively young as the team goes, we're a fun bunch of people and really sociable, and we make a point of welcoming people, and it sounds like an obvious thing to do, but actually on their first day, our lovely office manager Philippa will take them on a tour, introduce them to everybody. They get, you know, induction sessions with all the key heads of departments and people that they're going to be working with to just sit and chat and have those cups of tea. And I think that you can underestimate the importance of those, and it's something we always try to really put an emphasis on in someone's first week, especially because we're probably going to be asking them to hit the ground running and do a load of work at the same time. So it's important that they break that up with meeting the team and who they're going to work with. For me, there's no better way than motivating staff than to provide them with opportunity to further their careers. We can talk about company benefits and you know, other stuff like that, but I think we only want to hire people who are ambitious. And ambitious people only want to go and work somewhere where they feel that they can really make the most of themselves. And so, you know, that's about being honest up front about what the opportunity is for an individual, and then really good dialogue with them about where they want to go and how they're progressing against that stuff. And you know, we're small and we don't offer a load of structured training. We don't have a grad scheme, but we do give people more exposure to the client than they'll ever get anywhere else. We give them more opportunity to work pitches and all of those kind of things that someone maybe who's looking at a bigger agency wouldn't get that opportunity to do. And you know, it's not just chucking them in at the deep end, but it is, you know, exposing good people nice and early to opportunities they might find hard to get elsewhere. Okay, so when I'm reviewing people about how they're performing in the creative department, the temptation is actually to just look at their output and really think, you know, were those ideas any good? And that's quite difficult because there's so many external factors to the creative person that could have affected why perhaps the work wasn't a kick-ass idea, for example. And so I do a lot of, or place a lot of store in talking to the people that they work with and finding out whether or not, you know, they're a really constructive member of the team. But in terms of, yeah, assessing them, really it's about, do I think they're conducting themselves in the right way that'll get them to those good ideas? We hire them because they've got a good creative brain. They've got to just be able to put the hard work in terms of the research. They've got to stay the late nights and work on the pitch. And I look at that stuff and just think, if you're younger than me and you're trying to get to where I am, you know, there's few things that you can do other than outwork me that will really put you up there. And like, I'm thankful to say my guys do that. But yeah, that's kind of what I look at. I kind of expect the team to stay up with the latest creative trends themselves. I think it's very easy to, in fact it's something that I always put in objectives for people as they're developing, which is, you know, if you're a writer, you should take it upon yourself to share great examples of copywriting with the rest of the agency. If you're some creative that wants to specialise in the digital aspect of things, then I expect you to go out there and find that stuff. And frankly, you know, I'm 34, but getting old as the digital industry goes, and I'm dependent on them to find that stuff now. And yeah, by and large, people do it. I think people maybe feel a little bit reticent about sharing. I also encourage people to share with an opinion. I don't like people just going, "This is cool," so have to tell me why it's good, or tell the agency why it's good. So yeah, it's incumbent upon them to do it. I do my bit by talking at events and sharing things that I find interesting, explaining why. So really leading by example from that point of view. But yeah, it's just make it very clear that career development outside of the opportunities we give them is pretty much, it's theirs for the taking, and they've got to put the effort in and find the stuff. Another good question. I've been asked to write a little bit recently about convergence in general, and some of the times that'll mean convergence in the way different types of agency are running themselves, but also in the skill sets of people that a new model agency requires. And I think that, we're always looking for somebody who has got another couple of strings to their bow. So, for example, we have a lad who's a producer, great producer in our video department, but also a very accomplished editor and happy to run out with a backpack on and go and shoot stuff at a moment's notice, because we just work in too fast-paced an environment to have people that only want to craft headlines all day and do nothing else. So yeah, absolutely vital that they're multi-skilled, and it's something we ask for at interview stage. It's also something that we try to give people the opportunity to develop, because it's all very well saying we want you to have a multiple set of skills and then just pigeonholing someone and just putting them into doing the same thing every day. And I think that everybody likes the idea of a sort of Swiss Army knife candidate, but if they can't give them the work to do to keep all of those things honed, then you shouldn't have hired them in the first place. And so yeah, that's what we try to do. I'm not saying it always works every time, but so far so good, I suppose. So for me, the skill that's in the shortest supply in our industry, particularly in my bit of it, the creative department, is copywriting by an absolute mile. I don't see grads that want to write. I see lots of kids that go study advertising at university or some other kind of creative course. They're all way better at Photoshop than all the senior art directors at Nonsense, but there's not very many of them actually want to write or have taken an interest in writing. We've speculated a lot internally about why that is. I don't know if it's because those courses sort of select on qualifications to get on them that don't involve being good at writing in the first place, but yeah, it's really, really scarce. And I think that just because we don't live in a print-based world where you get weeks to write headlines and craft body copy doesn't mean that great writing doesn't make a difference. I mean, a really well-crafted tweet can have just as good an effect as one of those ads. That's the beauty of today's world, and yeah, it's sadly lacking, unfortunately, I think.
Source LF are London's leading creative communications and media recruitment agency. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to this channel. Take the moment to watch another of our videos on screen now.